How's it going, everybody? It is July 18th. What I'm going to do today is I want to go through some of your comments because over the last couple of weeks, there have been a few that I've kind of separated from the rest. Where are we actually? Right here. That I wanted to just have a discussion about because what I noticed is sometimes when I'm typing up responses to your comments on YouTube, there's a lot that I want to say, and I always kind of dreamed that this channel would actually become some kind of a discussion where it's not just kind of like entertainment, sales updates, and all that kind of stuff. I know that's cool to see, but I actually want to get some useful information out to you guys, especially to people that are kind of new and that are going through the same things as I am. So I have a number of comments, like I said, prepared, and I'm gonna try and show you guys some of the answers and examples and kind of talk through it. So the first one it comes from POD Life. Thanks, by the way, for leaving comments and getting a discussion going every once in a while. The first question is, can you give a generic example of what you mean when you say that you focus on designs that could sell in all of the markets? I actually thought that was a great question because it was left under the video for where I was talking about the account overview. So it was kind of like more generic, but I've mentioned this a few times. So the best example that I can give you is, without like giving away my recent strategy, is something like this. This is I just picked a Dallas, Texas area code T-shirts, and if you think about what this is, it's 214 is one of the area codes, and it's very specific to Dallas, Texas, right? But not just people from Dallas, like currently living in Dallas, will be buying these products. Like that's where the majority of sales will come from. But for example, if somebody is living abroad or somebody is traveling or whatever the case is, right? They might actually buy this in an Italian uh, on the Italian marketplace or German or whatever the case is. Now I understand this isn't a completely direct answer, but this is kind of what I can give you without giving away what I'm working on right now. Because if you go through this, like for example, if you look at the results here, it's showing that there's 323 results. So there's still kind of even an opportunity to get into this. But my point is that it's out there. Like for example, if we scroll down, like you'll see different area codes as well. Uh, but see, for example, like this kind of stuff, like these shirts used to sell. I remember actually looking into this a while ago, and and if there, for example, if it's not this specific, like when it comes to the area code, if you're just make it a little more broad, uh, there's a lot of room, for example, for sales, especially if it's if we're talking about, let's say, location or certain dates. So for example, if we were not to look at area codes, but if we were to look at Dallas, Texas, uh, yeah, people in France are going to buy it, people in Japan, people in Germany, people like wherever, right? There's always going to be people that are looking for these kinds of things. But what I was trying to do is, for example, uh, to give you a point that we're talking about U.S. cities, right? You can do a lot of things with international locations, or like country specific, that don't have to be holidays, but something specific to those countries, to those marketplaces, that will work in every available marketplace, like we have Japan, Spain, Italy, whatever, uh, but also in the U.S. Because if you flip it the other way around, there are a lot of people from France that are living in the U.S. A lot of people from Canada, a lot of Italians, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I can give you. That's how I can answer that question without, like I said, giving away exactly what I'm working on. Because for me, it is paying off. This is actually a really good one. I always like to talk about automation and all that kind of stuff. So from the same person, so it says, couple of questions for you. Are you automating the design process too, or are you making your designs manually and then only automating the upload process with Merch Titans? So I did have Canvas Titans for a while, which is the automation tool for designs. But I had some technical issues with it. I tried to get in touch with their technical support. They weren't able to help me, and I just stopped using it. But yes, to answer your question, I want to use that tool. I'm going to get back to it. I am not currently using it. So right now, I am not automating the design process, but I am definitely automating the upload process because uh, with the numbers that I'm working with, and especially like I said, I'm not just working with merch. There's no way that I could do it in any other way than actually using Merch Titans or any other automation tool. Second question is, what is your strategy for getting sales in other markets? Are you doing generic scale designs, one-offs, evergreens, like hobbies that could apply to any marketplace, or are you targeting those markets specifically? Um, I would say yes to all of those. I am mostly working on large scale designs that would apply to every marketplace, but then I am once in a while throwing in, um, for example, specific like one offs uh, that would apply, for example, to uh, a specific marketplace. But again, I'm always keeping in mind that thing. Like, for example, if I list something to an Italian marketplace, will it sell in the US as well? I want that answer to be yes. I rarely list anything that would only work in Japan or in Italy or Spain. So I hope that answers your question. Jason here says I was talking about it was a July update just a couple of days ago. I believe I was talking about how it's getting better and better for me. Jason's saying that July sucks compared to May and June. He's making all the trending topics, but the fish isn't biting. So, I've been there before. I've done that so many times, and I actually when I tiered up to certain levels, I remember listing, and this was manually. I remember listing hundreds of designs. I'm not talking about products, like I'm talking about designs during the old system. Uh, and not making any sales. And then once in a while, like one product would take off like 2 years later, like not 2 years later, because of course, if you don't make any sales, it's taken down. But like a year later, and it would start making sales, and I could never understand, what exactly was it that started those sales. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it'll pay off, other times you can make all the trending topics or listings that you want, and nothing will sell because somebody just beat us to it, or who knows. JD Wells here was I talked about Prime Day here, and I mentioned a few times that Prime Day was the 12th. This person is right. Prime Day was actually 2 days. They usually run it that way. Uh, but I think most of the people actually just jump on it on the 12th, where we see a spike. But I saw a spike both days, and I think a couple other people that I talked to did as well. And then this is actually a good point. Most Prime Day products were marked down so low that they paid zero royalty, but the bump on the bestseller rank is nice, and that's true because sometimes getting caught in that low BSR is amazing, and that actually just gets you a bunch of traction and uh, gets you a lot of sales. Let me just see if there's anything else that I wanted to mention. There were a couple of things here that I wanted to talk about, just to share some of the successes here. I am Sam said that this was on again Prime Day. So far 37 sales, and there were still 7 hours to go, and I believe that this person actually had a very successful Prime Day and Prime Days, and as you can see here, saying I did go aggressive marketing in the EU marketplace only, and it seemed to pay off. So that's one of those things I talked about, marketing and advertising on Prime Day, and how you have to be really strategic, and you have to know when to do it, and it really pays off for some people. Yusuf here, I mentioned in this video that people were getting that email, and I think actually here it is. It was a comment from I am Sam. I received the email stating that one or more of my designs were chosen in the UK marketplace for Prime Day. So people were getting emails, basically getting notified that your product has been chosen, and it's they're going to adjust the price, royalty, all that kind of stuff, basically telling you that they're going to promote your product. Yusuf says, I got that email, but no sales. So even though and I've talked about the Amazon's choice tag and things like that, sometimes it might seem like things are amazing, and like your product was chosen for Prime Day, and then you get no sales, and then that's kind of disappointing. But anyways, couple of those messages that I discussed at the beginning, I thought were great pieces of discussion. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what am I missing. Kind of, I used to be very active on Reddit, just keeping up with everybody's performance and anything new that comes out. I haven't done that recently, but I'm curious to see what you guys are thinking about. What are the next things that are happening with merch? For now, I'm just trying to figure out ways to crack into, get into, I guess, niches that not a lot of people are in, that actually work all over the world. I have no doubt that merch will be expanding, going into more countries, probably offering more products. But for now, with the tier that I'm in, and the number of products that I have that I'm able to list, I just have to put my head down and keep working, and that's what I'm doing every single day. So I'm gonna keep doing that. Let me know how you guys are doing, and I'll talk to you soon.